Check out NorthAvenueNation.com for the latest student work. North Avenue Nation covers things happening on and off campus, featuring terrific interviews by MassComm students with Eli Manning, Victor Cruz, Bernie Williams, Rob Astorino, and Nia Vardalos. Also, WICR is now streaming online on Live365.com and Ustream.com. Just search WICR.
Good morning, Iona. It's Friday morning, and you are now listening to Kenny Loves Spring in the Morning.
Okay, now it changes to just
Kenny Loves Spring in the Morning now. Yeah, so I'm Spring, and I have Kenny with me.
Yahoo!
And as promised, we finally get to discuss Gone Girl because
finally, it's about time. It's about time.
Kenny teased me yesterday, pretending he was going to be in and that he wasn't in.
Sorry.
But before we just start the discussion on it, because I'm really excited to do this review. Mainly because this movie reminds me of...
You're going to get right into it.
A lot of, film noir movies. Yeah, I want to get right into it.
You're not even going to tease it. You're just going to go right in.
It?
Should we?
I don't know. I think I was going to tease it with the trailer.
Okay.
Right?
I think.
Make the mergers happy with a soundbite. Why not?
All right, here we go. Yeah, soundbite.
All right, here we go, guys. Gone Girl.
Boom.
Once it plays. ...
Ooh.
You like that opening?
Such a perfect score for the movie as well.
Nick Dunn, you're probably the most hated man in America right now. Did you kill your wife, Nick?
Everyone told us marriage is hard work. Not for me and Nick.
As you all know, my wife, Amy Elliott Dunn, disappeared 3 days ago. I had nothing to do with the disappearance of my wife. I had nothing to hide.
Sammy got friends we can talk to?
No, not really.
You don't know if she has friends, you don't know what she does all day, and you don't know your wife's blood type.
Just being a good guy, so everybody can see him being a good guy.
Well, you really don't like him, do you?
All I'm trying to do is be nice to the people who are volunteering to help find Amy.
I will practice believing my husband loves me, but I could be wrong.
You ever see that guy in the glasses before?
Amy's the kind of girl who attracts admirers.
Whoever took her is bound to bring her back.
I'm hoping you can tell me what this means.
Want to solve Amy's treasure hunt?
Seen this girl around here?
Yeah, I remember her.
I know you. I saw you at the volunteer center.
I wanted to help.
What you want?
She wanted a gun. We are all scared, but we are all here now.
I feel like something to be jettisoned if necessary. I feel like I could disappear.
The hallmark of a sociopath is a lack of empathy.
Amy lost a lot of blood in there. Then somebody mopped it up.
Why do they mop up the blood if they're trying to stage a crime scene?
Whatever they found, I think it's safe to assume that it's very bad.
I'd finally realized I am frightened of my own husband.
I would show you, as if you do in a deposition, what to say, what not to say.
A trained monkey?
A trained monkey who doesn't get lethal injections.
She's going to eat you alive.
You assaulted her?
It's not good enough for you?
I hit her?
It's not even close.
Absolutely not. I never touched her.
We now believe Nick is involved in the disappearance of our daughter.
Without a body, without a murder weapon, their only hope is a confession.
Don't know anything yet? You need to tell me.
How was your marriage, Nick?
Are you asking me if I killed my wife?
Man of my dreams, this man of mine may kill me.
What about my son? Nick!
This man may kill me. In her own words,
This man may truly kill me.
You ever hear the expression, the simplest answer is often the correct one?
Actually, I've never found that to be true.
I mean, perfect way to end the trailer.
What a chilling trailer.
A perfect way to end
Loved
it, I guess.
it.
Now, let us say, though, spoiler alert.
Yeah, for those of you who have not seen the movie,
so
please stop listening.
Please take the time now to click the big
at Joe
X
right now.
in the corner.
Stop listening, because we are going to reveal some spoilers that were not expressed in the trailer, because if you watch the trailer, it gives you a different idea of what the movie is
have we done the
exactly
spoiler
about.
alert now?
No.
Is that over?
I don't know. We haven't done the spoiler alert. Is Joe listening? Joe, are you listening? He's still listening. Joe,
turn it off.
off.
I was just about to say something.
Okay, he's
we
good. I don't know. I should jump.
Joe?
No, Joe, I see those speakers on.
Joe?
Can you hear me, Joe?
Joe?
As he answers no, he can't hear me.
Joe, if you can hear me. Oh, I know you can hear me. What are you doing in there? You crazy.
He's just like, I kind of want to know anyway. But if you guys don't know Gone Girl, it's actually a best-selling novel from Gillian.
Yes.
Gillian, right? It's not Gillian. It wouldn't be Gillian.
No.
Gillian Flynn. It's supposed to be like one of the best novels. I think it was on the New York Times bestseller list.
Bestseller list for a while.
I think it was like 20 weeks.
Yeah, something.
It's
something
something
crazy
about that number.
Yeah.
Either way, I think you want to give away the spoiler alert, so give away the spoiler.
No, I was just going to go in on the director for a minute.
David
Fincher.
Yes.
Girl with Dragon Tattoo, Social Network.
Seven.
All critically acclaimed movies.
They're all great.
And this one will also be critically acclaimed, and most likely it'll be up there in Best Picture, Oscar worthy.
I think so far for 2014,
I'm gonna be honest with you, though,
this is one I really been impressed with.
From the trailers I've seen, I don't know if it's got the push.
What do you mean?
For Best Picture. Best Picture is a tall tale for this.
For this movie? I think it's going to get it, actually.
Really?
I think Rosamund Pike, especially, because she's...
Wow. Yeah, oh, no, if she doesn't get Best Actress, I'm going to freak out.
I would be completely upset, because the first time, the minute I saw her, the only thing I thought was, oh my God, it's Kim Novak.
I'm going to be honest with you, I was not very impressed with Ben Affleck.
I'm never... We're going to get to Ben Affleck, because Ben Affleck, as usual, was playing who? Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Because Ben Affleck, I do admire him as a director, but in this movie, I feel like he was basically typecasted. Like, the role Nick needed to be is Ben Affleck in general.
I don't know. I just didn't feel it. You know, I didn't feel it.
Is it because it's Ben Affleck? Like, it wasn't believable enough for you?
Yeah, I wasn't convinced Ben Affleck.
Because when I finished watching the movie, the first thing I didn't mention, it wasn't him that I mentioned, it was her. Like,
he certainly didn't do a bad job. Don't get me wrong. Ben Affleck did very well, and he'll probably get nominated. He'll probably get nominated for Best Actor because he's Ben Affleck. But if you compare Ben Affleck to Ben Affleck in Argo,
which he directed himself, that makes sense why.
But if you look at the differences in those performances, Argo, Ben Affleck was leaps and bounds better than Gone Girl. Ben Affleck.
Because hold on. Sorry, I had to answer that. Anyway, Ben Affleck and Gone Girl. What do I want to say about him? Because I admired Rosamund, so we'll go.
We'll go back.
Rosamund.
Rosamund. Yeah, that's how I would say.
And she's an older actress.
Can we call it Rosa?
Too, so we'll call her Rose for right now.
Rose.
Yeah, we'll call her Rose because this is her breakout role, which is interesting because she's an older woman. I think she's like in her late 30s, right? Yeah. And she was just beautiful, femme fatale at her its finest right now. And I love any movie that reminds me of femme fatales. But Ben Affleck. All right, so I can't remember their last name. It's Nick Dunn.
Dunn.
That's right. So Nick Dunn is supposed to be somewhat of a removed character, and it's for the main purpose because you need to see him as a villain at first. Completely understood because now he's the bad guy. You know he's having an affair with one of his college students.
Right.
And basically you sympathize more with Amy because Amy is seen as a woman.
Until you find out that she's a psycho.
Yeah, which she's a... Oh my God! And the way they reveal it, just the whole switch in the movie was
that was perfect. That was beautiful, direct. That was David Fincher at his finest.
Because when I saw that part, which I guess we could get to later for when we're analyzing her.
Yeah, we're sticking with just
Nick
Rosamund.
Right
now. Oh no, we're on Ben.
No, we're still on Nick. Because didn't you want to?
Yeah, so Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
So we're doing Ben Affleck now. Then we'll do Rosamund. Then we'll do Fincher.
No, I want to talk about Tyler Perry.
Oh, I want to talk about Tyler Perry too.
Because Tyler Perry, he didn't impress me, but he didn't not impress me.
We'll get there when we get there.
He was funny.
We'll get there when we get there.
I think the movie was actually funny.
We're not there yet.
Okay. Well, either way, Nick himself was played by Ben Affleck, as I've said it like a bajillion times already. But Ben Affleck and Nick, they have so many of the same characteristics that it's kind of hard to not say Ben wasn't playing himself.
Convinced of his distance.
I was completely convinced.
I wasn't. You know what? When Ben Affleck doesn't seem interested, it seems like he's trying not to be interested.
You know what? That was one of the complaints in one of the reviews because there's a scene within the film that he has to have like is it a press conference? No, he had to do an interview with like a woman about how he didn't murder his wife.
Right.
So the whole time in the scene, Tyler Perry's character.
Right. Is that the big interview when he's throwing?
Yeah, when he's throwing the gummy bears to make himself seem less smug.
Yeah.
But he still comes off as smug. And I think that's Ben Affleck's character throughout the film. So at the same time, we're supposed to sympathize with him, but it's so hard.
Even though you find out that Rosamund, or whatever her name is, Amy.
We'll call her Amy.
Amy is a
sociopath. She's a sociopath.
Sure. There's got to be a better word.
There is no better word.
There's got to be. Anyway, even though she's that sociopath, she is always my favorite.
Oh, so even when she does the 360,
even when she's crazy, even when she goes crazy, she is still my favorite. Ben Affleck never takes over as the good guy for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because even from the beginning, he just seems
he seems weird, and it just doesn't seem like Ben Affleck is acting. It seems like Ben Affleck was told to
please do this.
Do this movie. We'll give you a paycheck. You don't have to wear a Yankees hat. You can put on a Mets hat.
Yeah, you saw that too, right?
And then you're fine. That's what I saw. I didn't see Ben Affleck try. You can tell when somebody's trying. Like when Leonardo DiCaprio is in Wolf of Wall Street, he's trying to be that guy.
He's also a very completely different actor from Leonardo DiCaprio is able to adapt
to more roles
than Ben Affleck can. I do know what you mean. The only part I have to say Ben Affleck may have gotten any kind of arousal out of me was at the end when she was back with him.
Oh, and he pushed her against the wall. Yeah,
that was by far the most reaction.
You know why? Because he actually did something.
Because other than that,
actually that, and you know what? No, I'm gonna
not even then.
No, that a little bit for me. And I was gonna say when we first found out about his mistress, but I didn't care.
The minute I found out about his mistress, I don't know if I would say I was completely surprised. I had a feeling.
I looked at everybody around me.
How did you feel about that scene? Because what were you expecting? Were you expecting Amy at the door or something?
I went with one other person. I made eye contact with about 7 people, and we were like, "Whoa!"
Can I admit, I can't remember the girl's name. It's not as important because she's not like a central character, but it was in Robin Thicke's Blurred Lines video.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
She's
I try
known
not to
for
watch
videos.
misogynist
Her
videos.
upper body parts that are supposed to be very...
Shocker.
Which they were beautiful.
Robin
I'll give her
Thicke.
that.
Yahoo. Anyway, so...
But when she came, I was just like, oh,
yeah.
Well, that's a pleasant surprise. And
it's always fun seeing actors that you've seen somewhere else.
Right,
and you're like, oh,
good for you, girl.
Yeah.
You made it from music video to full-blown good
to Gone Girl. So anyway, even I was about to say that I could compare the, almost beating up Amy scene to when you find out about her mistress, because Ben Affleck seems real in that moment. Yeah. But I'd be lying, because even when you find out about the mistress, and even when Ben Affleck is trying not to sleep with her, it's not.
And he still gives in.
It's not convincing at all.
I think the only reason why they introduced the girl was just make him seem less of a husband. You didn't need it.
For me, I wasn't convinced that he killed.
I didn't see him as a good husband. But
I wasn't convinced that he killed her.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I was always kind of on the precipice of thinking it, and then when I found out about the mistress, I was like, okay, maybe he did it.
See, I didn't think he killed her. Still, I think.
I don't know. Once
told me he still didn't do it.
Once she came in through the door, and he wasn't really telling Margot anything, and I was like, maybe.
But another part. Okay, so Nick Dunn, for the most part, is basically, what's the character name I could give him? He's like an anti-hero. He's not.
Yeah, at no point do I find him as the hero.
You're not really like, oh, I sympathize with this guy. Oh, poor Nick. He shouldn't have done this. He doesn't deserve this. You never get that point in the film. You do.
I get it for Neil Patrick Harris.
I do. But for a person, when you find out that Amy is in fact crazy, you still don't sympathize with Nick too much.
At that point, you're just fascinated with Amy.
You're still kind of put where you want to put there, because I can't say it on the air.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but I have to admit, I think it was kind of funny to see Nick's character during the interview to kind of tease Amy.
Yes.
That
was cool. That was awesome. But that was Tyler. That was Tyler Perry.
But that was like his smug, sarcastic character coming out.
But that's why I didn't like it. That's why I didn't like him.
I liked it.
I'm under the impression that if any point ever, regardless of how insane she is, if my wife goes missing, I'm probably gonna cry at least once.
Oh, and his reaction was just completely womp.
He didn't care.
Oh, don't you love the scene when they had to do a press conference and you saw the parents just completely weeping, and he does that awkward smile?
Yep.
And even when there's a scene where he takes a picture with a woman, which I don't understand that scene to this day.
Yeah, it's still weird.
It was, you could tell they did it specifically to show that he wasn't interested. Like, it was way too obvious.
There was a lot of I honestly, when she went missing, I don't think anybody really cared except the police.
It wasn't even...
Nobody was like, oh, she's missing.
No, it was strange the way the community got together for it. Because for a woman that wasn't supposed to be known by anybody, for a community like that to really go...
And she wasn't. You find out that she wasn't known by everybody.
And, well, we'll get to that later, because the way she orchestrated the whole thing is just beautiful. You know what? I'm tired of talking about Nick. Let's talk about Amy.
No, hold on. Amy's last, because she was so good.
Oh, but I want to talk about her now. She was so...
We can do... Okay, we can do quickly Margot, because I thought she was the perfect...
Twin sister.
I don't know what her name is in real life. I know that she's in the HBO show The Leftovers as well.
This is actually my first time ever seeing her.
She's good in The Leftovers. She plays a little bit more of a main character in The Leftovers on HBO. But I really enjoyed her casting.
Her name is Carrie Coon.
Carrie Coon.
That's her name.
So I enjoyed her casting wise as the twin sister. I thought she did well.
I think she's the complete is it parallel of Amy? Yeah.
Yep.
She's kind of her foil. There we go.
Perpendicular, you mean?
Yeah.
Like that,
you
right?
think?
Or
No, I
parallel.
meant foil. Like if I had to look at Amy and I had to look at Margot, they're completely like Margot's more real and Amy's more
a psychopath.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, like she provides the grounds for.
But no, I thought Margot was good supporting actress. I thought she
How'd you
played
feel
her
about
role.
her relationship with Nick?
Loved it.
As the twin sister.
That's why I liked her.
It's a really interesting dynamic.
I didn't like him through it, but I liked her through it.
Now, because she liked him, does that help you sort of like him just because you liked her because she liked him? Not even?
It makes me kind of mad at her a little bit.
Because she believed in her brother so much?
Yes.
And
her brother's
no matter what he did, either way, she stood by his side.
Yeah, and that was, that's
which
just
was
like
a great
family kind of thing,
I didn't
which
realize
is
that
nice.
They were
That's
twins
cool.
Till later on.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed them as a tandem.
That I did.
Ben
like
Affleck
them.
and what's her name?
She was
Coon.
cute. She was very like
She was.
real.
She made sense in that role.
And I think she was also essential just to show that there was something off about Amy.
Yeah, that too.
It wasn't that she did have a prejudice against her, but it showed like she did have a sense that there was not something right with Amy, which we do see later on.
Oh yeah.
All right. So now Neil Patrick Harris, who plays Desi Collins, who's a very funny character because Neil Patrick Harris is generally a comedian.
Really quickly.
Go ahead.
Neil Patrick Harris wanted to leave How I Met Your Mother so he could make more children-appropriate movies for his daughter or son or whatever he has.
And then he goes
and goes and does this, Neil, Mr. Neil.
Mm-hmm.
That's not child appropriate. It's not even me appropriate.
But there's children involved. I'm kidding.
It's not even me appropriate. I almost.
His character was so shifty from the start.
I almost stood up and yelled when it happened.
Okay, so Neil Patrick Harris in the film, who's Desi Collins, is supposed to be Amy Dunn's past love, or I guess like a high school sweetheart, or one of her like throwaway tissues, if you want to call it. Like she used and abused him, basically. You have to admit.
Do people refer to me as an ex-boyfriend as a used tissue?
I hope not. I wouldn't. I can't tell you. We can
what
find
do you
out.
mean? What do you know? As like a woman thing? Is that what you guys do? Is that a term
this is a
frequently used?
It's a spring euphemism.
Are you lying?
No.
Am I a used tissue? Is that what you're saying?
Used tissue, Kenny. Focus.
Sorry.
So poor Desi. He's rich. I don't know if he's like he's not a playboy really. He's more like just
weird.
Obsessed with. Yeah, he was just an odd character.
Weird.
So Amy approaches him saying, "Hey, I need money. You know, I'm still alive because in the movie she's supposed to be presumed dead, missing, right?" So she goes to Desi and she's basically like, "Oh, like I've always loved you.
Right.
That's why I kept contact with you.
Trying to reuse a used
scary.
tissue.
She's trying to reuse a used tissue.
According to Spring.
Basically. So now this poor man is just, the way he just goes about it, I don't even think he loves her. I think he loves his idea of her. Because the minute
that's how
she
every
gains
man
weight,
loves a
she
woman.
dyes her hair, and then he goes, "You'll go back to your old self," and gives her all the tools that she needs just to get back to her old self, which I thought it gives some kind of humor.
Yeah.
And then this crazy person decides to go against him and then just pretend that she was being a sex slave within his house.
And
the way she did it, I would never have believed it.
Oh man.
Right? The way she ties like a string around her ankle, she puts wine in her female body parts and the thing to appear as blood, and then starts screaming because in the house that he sets her up in, there's cameras, and she like bites him, makes him look all messy, and then decides, "Oh, I'm gonna pretend I was raped," and then slits his throat and he dies. What? That was the only outlandish thing I could say about the film, because that was way too much. But as a sociopath, I could see how it almost fits.
I don't even think that was the most outrageous part.
I think the fact that everything is over exaggerated and so unbelievable makes me like it more. Because what are the chances of that actually happening?
There was so much blood.
So much, and she cut him with a box cutter. And the detective who's played, I'm gonna get you right now, by Kim Dickens. I've never heard of her, but she plays Detective Rhonda Boney, who is part of the case, and she's like...
Great accent on that woman.
Yeah, she keeps flip-flopping between
she doesn't know
whether or
anything.
not Nick is innocent or not, but you could tell she kind of wants to believe Nick.
That he's not, yeah.
Yeah, so when Amy comes back, the first thing she asks, like, "Where did you get a box cutter?"
Yeah.
Like, that's the main question. Like, where in the world, why are you holding a box cutter ready to slit this man's throat? And then just cover yourself in blood to like appear that you were being a sex slave.
Right.
So poor Desi Collins, just
dead.
I knew it was over for him the minute he took away, what was it, like a yogurt or a souffle or something? She was eating something while watching Nick's interview.
I think it was ice cream.
I don't know. Either way, she gave Desi the look of death. Like,
I don't know if that's when I knew. I think I knew when he was spurting blood all over their white bed.
That it was over?
That it was pretty much over.
I knew she wasn't going to stay with him from the get-go.
I mean, everybody knew that, but I didn't know she was going to chop his head off. She's an ISIS.
You just called her ISIS?
She could be an ISIS.
All right, so the next character that I guess Kenny liked was Tyler Perry, who played Tanner Bolt. Now, Tanner Bolt in the film, he's supposed to be a defense lawyer for husbands that are presumed that they killed their killed their significant other, basically their wives. So I think he brings a little comedy to here. Like, he believes Nick from the start.
I don't know who the casting director was, but I'm sure it's on that list that you're on.
I can get it for you, but
they were
on point.
Wonderful.
And you know what's really funny? Tyler Perry's who is it? What's the person that I guess a manager or whatever.
Yeah, that was
they signed him up.
His
They signed him up for the film, not telling him that it was A, David Fincher, and B, he was going to be alongside Ben Affleck. Apparently, he would not have taken the role if he had knew that.
Really?
Which I don't understand why.
Well, he's probably nervous. I would be nervous if I'm Tyler Perry, and I know everybody makes fun of my movies because I'm stupid.
I think it's such a great opportunity
and then at some
to
point,
redeem yourself.
Yeah, but why would you want to put yourself in a situation where they're going to be that much better than you?
True. Oh, casting was by Lorraine Mayfield.
Perfect. Lorraine, you are a star.
She deserves an Oscar.
She deserves a round of applause.
They were very well thought, because Tyler Perry, he was like...
It was perfect. He had the perfect amount of snark. You know,
right?
he's
like,
very
he was
snarky. He looked the part too. When I heard defense lawyer, kind of like husband defense lawyer, I thought, bigger man.
They said when they were looking for this character,
well-dressed.
They were looking for an Alec Baldwin character.
Yeah,
I read that as a trivia.
Yep,
and I'm
like an older but still youngish looking
to understand.
older man with facial hair, good looking too,
so coolly.
With well dressed, and he looked good. Tyler Perry, I'm not sure if he lost a lot of weight or not.
No, he looked like he toned a bit,
but he looked good in this movie.
Because the way when poop hit the fan. He just handled it. He was just like, okay, so this happened.
Right.
So this is what we're gonna do next, because he completely
his role, Margot's, Desi's, Amy's, which we'll get to.
Yes.
Believable.
Nick.
The detectives, believable.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, what are you doing?
Nick, I don't know. I think Nick's character is supposed to be completely removed from the whole situation, though.
I understand that because this story is told from the perspective of Amy.
Yes.
Which makes sense. That Nick is supposed to come out as a weird dude.
Yeah, which he
However,
does.
Why would you cast Ben Affleck to be the weird dude?
Who would you have casted?
Maybe he overplayed the role. And that's why I think he underplayed it. Does that make sense?
I could kind of see that.
Because it's Ben Affleck, you expect Ben Affleck. You expect Argo Ben Affleck. That every time I see Ben Affleck, that's what I expect.
I expect the sarcastic, which he was. I expect it's removed,
I expected
which he was.
Serious. I expected
he was serious. I think,
but
his
no,
outbursts
like
of
actual
rage.
serious.
No, I didn't expect
like caring maybe a little.
No, I didn't expect it.
See,
I felt like we were supposed to perceive him as some kind of sociopath, a man
Me too,
that
but
doesn't
don't you
love
think?
his wife.
But sociopaths fake it.
Yeah.
He
didn't even bother to fake it.
He didn't even bother to fake it.
That's actually very true.
Maybe Ben Affleck overplayed Nick's removed character.
So it was too much.
And that's why it was unbelievable to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Even the scenes where you wanted to believe that he genuinely loved his wife, I could not believe him. Even after the fact where he was just like, do I love her? It was just like, okay, no.
So maybe it was overplayed now that I think about it.
And even when he's trying to understand why Amy did what she did at the end, you still just get like, okay, I still want to get rid of you though, which is the point of it.
Yeah.
But it was just there's no love in that club. Even when they started dating, when he first approaches her,
it seemed nice
with the beautiful sugar scene, which I love. The sugar that makes it look
cute.
like snow, adorable.
Cute.
The whole because they have a signature type of like he touches her lips and then his lips and then his chin, which apparently the
Why
character.
does he cover his chin?
I think it's
Trivia.
Isn't it for the cleft?
Trivia, yeah.
Yeah, because I think in the book he has a cleft too. So the thing. In the,
I guess it made sense, right?
Yeah. So that was supposed to be a very cute scene, but for the whole scene, I'm staring at her and not at him. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, me too, honestly.
She mesmerized me. He was more of a forgettable character. He was.
Yeah,
he was just the character that
can't argue you at any point.
Just gets affected by everything, basically.
Yep. Kind of the woe is me on Ben Affleck.
All right. So with that being said, I think I want to take a really quick break just so I could actually talk about Amy Dunn and we could both talk about it. Then talk about David Fincher and maybe talk about the opening and ending scenes, which I thought was really interesting. You know what I mean, with the cliffhanger and and whatnot. It was a weird way, like
it was weird.
The opening scene, and the ending scene, the way they did it, it was a completely shift of perspective. So
David
when we
Fincher,
come back,
baby.
We'll be talking about that.
Peace.
Yay.
PhotoExperts.com is your home for the latest fantasy news and updates. Get fantasy advice from the experts in fantasy football, baseball, basketball, hockey, NASCAR, and even golf. If you have a fantasy